Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I again had technical difficulties. I cannot wait to get back my regular computer because I really don't like this webcam app that I'm using. It is a little bit, what should I say, problematic. Okay, so this morning I have a fabulous card for you. Last Friday, I used the gorgeous Inspiring Imperfections stamp set, this one here with the beautiful Japanese Kintsugi technique where they fix broken pottery. It's absolutely stunning because it's all with gold, made with gold. And then I use the products from the whole suite. So the suite is called Kintsugi Inspirations, and it has lots of different products in it. It's got 12 by 12 inch paper pack. It has beautiful stamp set and gorgeous bundles. And then there's a 3D embossing folder and some flower accents. So it's really a beautiful suite. If you want to see the details of that suite, you can go back to last Friday's video to see where I put everything. Now, I want to make you aware that Facebook has changed their storage policy. So I think every 3 months, they go back into everyone's Facebook pages and they delete the videos. So any live videos that we did that are then recorded on Facebook, they delete them. So you can't go back very far to see old videos. And that's why I always do them also to YouTube. So if you want to see something older, you need to go to my YouTube channel for that. And it's also called From Me to You Paper Craft. So you should be able to find it. I apologize for my really red face this morning. I have a bit of a headache, and I think that's what's causing it. I think my blood pressure is a little elevated this morning, and my face, I haven't even had my coffee yet, so I can't blame it on that. I had a smoothie with ice in it to try and cool myself down, but my head is throbbing a little bit. So I apologize for that. I did a lot of my prep ahead of time so that this video doesn't go too long, both for me and for you. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'll pull forward my other camera and let's pray and hope that it does not conk out on me. Here we go. All right, so I'll just show you the cards. I made 2 cards last week. Now, these cards are not my design. These are, I saw these by an American demonstrator, Jackie Bolheis. I just love her. She's called Clomp and Stampers. And she did a trilogy of cards, fun fold cards, using the Everyday Arches dies. Okay, so here's the dies. Now, you can purchase these dies on their own, or you can bundle them with a stamp set. I bought the dies independent of the stamp set. I didn't really care for that stamp set, but there is another stamp set which I really like called Arched Wishes. So if you want a stamp set that coordinates with this, you can choose either the one that comes as the bundle, or you can go ahead and pick this one. This is exclusively a birthday set, really simple. And I just love these kinds of, I don't know what you call them, but they fit around the arched, I guess you could call them arched greetings. All right, so there you go. So I used several dies in here to do the main card. So for example, this card here is a simple card where you take any size die really, you take the die and you line it up against the fold. So you create a regular base card and you put the die so that the cutting edge is off the side of the fold, and then you create this open card. Isn't that cute? And then you used all the other sizes you can use for the inside and for the front of the card. So that's one that I made. And then the other one is this one. This is really cute because it's on a small little base here. And then you put the arch on the top, and so it stands up. So you can see, I don't know if you can see that it's, where's my camera? It stands up. That was a really cute one too. Now, what I love about the Kintsugi designs, not only is the paper absolutely stunning, but there's one sheet of paper, 2 sheets of the same paper where you can actually die cut all of the pots. So you can die cut many of the two style of pots. You can also die cut a bunch of the flowers as well. So you can, once you've used those two sheets, then you'll have to stamp them. But the stamp set is designed so that you have the two pots and then you have the dies to cut them out. I made some extra die cuts where I actually used colored cardstock, and then I stamped it in my Versamark and then covered in gold and embossed it. So I created some gold embossed pieces. I've made a whole bunch of other cards like this. Maybe I'll drag them out. I'll show them to you at the end of the video. But here I have a bag filled with die cut ones. Well, here's one to show you. So I did one. I wanted to do black. So I did a black one. And then I did my Versamark with the gold embossing. So you can do this on any colored cardstock. And a lot of them are, you know, these are die cut from the paper. And then you can tell when they're die cut from the paper because they actually have the gold, like the outline is showing on the vase itself. Whereas this one, I simply die cut from the paper. Not from the actual pot design, but just from the paper. So you can flip it and use any design that you want on that. But I like this Kintsugi paper here. And this is another one. I just die cut it from the paper. Okay, so there's all, I mean, the possibilities are absolutely endless as to what you can do with these. Okay, so, oh, here's another example of a pot. So I did this one in basic beige with the gold embossing. And I did a couple of these. So this is Lost Lagoon DS paper, cardstock, and then I did the gold embossing on it. So you've got all kinds of, like I keep repeating myself, all kinds of possibilities for your pots. All right, so we'll be going through these and deciding what we want to do on this card. So let's show you the basis for this card. You're going to cut 3 arches. Now I use the largest arch in the set. So you pick your base color for your cardstock. In this case, it's Misty Moonlight. So I've got 3 of the three of these in Misty. See, I can't even talk today because of my headache. I'm so sorry, you guys. Anyway, I'll get through it. So I've got 3 large arches cut in the Misty Moonlight. Okay. Then you decide what you want to do for your pattern paper. In this case, I'm doing pattern paper. You could just do all white and do some stamping on them, but this paper is so gorgeous, I wanted to use it. So the idea is that you have, this is the front of your card, this is the middle, and then this is the back. And there's really no back because when it stands, you'll see it when I'm done. It stands, well, I've got a prototype here. I wanted to put this on here to show you how you do it. So you're building it on a 2 by 11 inch strip of cardstock. So you want to use the matching color. So I've got my color here. Okay. Misty Moonlight. And you're basically scoring it at 3.5 inches from each end. And then you fold it like a Z fold. Some of you are very familiar with Z fold cards. So 3.5 inches from each end to create your base. And you're going to be gluing these 3 arches on here. So what you end up doing is, and that's why I did this prototype, just to show you and to remind me every time I put it together. So it kind of sits like this. Okay, so it opens like this. All right, so this is the front. So when you design the arch for the front, that's the front. Then you're going to have one in the center, and then you're going to have one on the back. Okay, and I'll show you there's a little bit of a trick to getting these to line up on here. So that's basically what it looks like. Here's your front, here's your center, and here's the back. Okay, and then it folds up like this. Okay, do you get the idea? It's easy when you make it. All right. All right, so that's basically the way to do it. Now, another thing I want to point out, which I point out a lot in my videos, is when you're die cutting using these layered dies, you end up with scrap paper, and I always cut from the center. So when I cut these 2 pieces, I've ended up with these 2 frames, and I can use these on another project. So I always like to point that out, so you're not wasting paper. But they'll make, and then I'll just fill this in with with the arches and make a card. 2 cards actually with that. Okay, so I like to point that out. All right, excuse me. So let's just put these other cards away, out of the way. All right, so so what you basically do is you cut your arches, decide your designer series paper, and then you do your stamping or do your designing. Okay, so the front of my card, I pretty well know what I want. Look at this paper, isn't it just stunning? So I'm going to glue this onto, and it's best to use your Tombow glue so you have time to wiggle if you need to. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. Okay. And you're basically centering it. You're not putting it down to the bottom, but you want your stitching to show on all 4 sides. All right, so we've got that. Then I thought I would do some extra layering. This is embossed with that beautiful Kintsugi design. Look, I think you can see it in the camera. Okay, and I did another layer of the Misty Moonlight. So you just pick your layers, and I wanted to see quite a bit of this paper in the background, so I went down a few layers here. So I'm going to glue this on top of this piece here and get that nicely centered. How are you this morning, Christine? Hope you're feeling better. You were not well there for a while. I was not well for a while as well. Okay. Now at this point, you could decide if you wanted to wrap a bit of a linen thread, or you could wrap some gold around this piece here. This is the time to do it before you stick it down to this layer, but I'm just going to do my pots on here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. And when you use the largest die, it definitely fits in the Stampin' Up! Envelope, so you won't have to worry about creating an envelope. It fits in the regular envelopes, A2 sized envelopes. All right, so we're going to put that on the front, okay? And then we're going to decide on what we want to put on the front. Now in this little package, I want to show you this little technique too. These are all, some of these are die cut from the paper, and some I hand stamped as well. And I pulled out this, if you have this set, this is where you want to make sure you have a pack of our gold cardstock so that you can actually die cut some gold pieces, because in the stamp set, they've given you these 2 veins of gold. So you're going to cut these out, they're dies, and you can die cut these, and then you can actually, stick them on the pots. Okay, so that's what those 2 are for. It's the veins of gold. And then you've got all the dies. So you've got the die for the pot. So again, this cuts out from the designer series paper or from the stamped image. You've got the small pot here and the die and the stamp set as well. And then these are the gold. These are what I die cut the gold pieces out of here. And then you've got this flower. Okay. So yeah, and then you've got some greetings in here. It's just a beautiful set. I am in love. I need to buy another pack of paper already, I'm thinking. Okay, and another little thing I came across, I had this scrap of this. This is one of the papers. It's this beautiful Kintsugi. It's got the gold filigree through it. It's gorgeous paper. And there's a really cute die. It's like a piece of ripped tape. This die here, you see how it's ripped? Okay, so what I did was I had a very small scrap left over of this particular DSP. So I die cut it with this cute little ripped tape die, and then I stamped thanks on it. There was a white space just sitting there, and so I stamped thanks on there. So I might use this on this card. Okay, so let's see. I've got to decide what I want on the front. I just love the basic beige in the gold because it would match up with the flowers there. So we could use that pot. And we could pull in like a shorter pot. I'm going to dump them out because I can't see what I'm doing here. Oh, here's one. So we could do this sort of thing on here on the front. And then I could grab one of the flowers. So this is a flower that I can't tell the difference anymore, but I think I actually stamped all of these. These are all stamped. Or they might be, yeah, they're die cut, because you can tell because you've got the pattern paper on the back. So these were all die cut from the paper. So now I've discovered another trick. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but to make this flower look like it's actually coming from out of the pot, I was taking my craft knife and I was cutting along this edge here, the edge, and I was tucking the flower in. But I saw a demonstrator, all she did was she cut down the stem. She just cut the stem down and then she just glued it over that second edge, right like that. You see, it's just sitting, it looks like it's sitting in the pot. So that was a little bit simpler to do. So I think this is what I'm going to do on the front of my card here. Okay, and then for the inside, I thought I would just do another pot. And what I was doing also is taking and just kind of draping this over the top of the pot, almost as if it's growing out of the pot. So I might do that. Let's get rid of that little stem there. Okay, and then for the third one, so I haven't yet glued this one on yet, so let's do that. So let's move these pots out of the way. I'm looking forward to making a black card base and using the black pot with the gold embossing. I think that will look really elegant. Okay, so let's cover up I need my glue anyway. All right, so let's glue this to the next. See, this is that paper. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. It's a shame to cover it, but I kind of wanted something a little bit more muted in the middle there. Okay, so let's glue this one on. See, I love Tombow. You've got a little bit of time to move it around. All right, so we've got that. And then, okay, what happened to my pot? Oh, here it is. So we're going to put this in here. Now I was going to use this greeting. What I might do actually is not put a greeting on the front. I might just do this thanks on here. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to put any dimensionals on it because it's the middle of the card. All right, so let's glue this right on here. We'll put some dimensions on the front of the card. So I'm going to put this here. And then I'm going to get out my skinny glue here. I call it my skinny glue because it's got such a fine tip on here. Let's get it going. There we go. So I'm just dotting a bit over here and there. Okay, and I'm going to rub it off on my silicone mat. And then I'm going to stick it on here as if it's growing out of the pot. Okay. So that's the middle piece done. And so let's finish this piece. I think this pot I'm going to put on some dimensionals. Let's get out my minis. Well, that's my big one. Let's get out the minis. And my pokey tool. Now I should clean up this little bit of It's good to have some baby wipes at your craft station for little tidy ups. Okay. So let's put this back in my jar. We'll put some dimensionals on the little pot here. So this is going to go on flat. So let's get this. So this one was gold embossed on the basic beige. I think it looks really classy. Just move that over a little bit. There we go. Okay. I'm going to put this little pot on here, like so. Now I'm going to put this flower on dimensionals. Put one more in the middle here. So I've cut the stem down and I'm just placing it to line up with the edge of that pot. Okay? So that's the front of our card done. Here's the middle of our card done. Now this thanks, I thought I would put on here like that. I'm going to think about that a little bit. Or no, I thought I would do it on the inside. So they look at the card, it opens up and there's a thanks in there. So I'm going to lie this. I think I like it on the inside. So I'm going to put it right here, like that. Okay. So we've got our front, we've got our middle, and now the back. So if I'm going to do any stamping on here, I want to do it before I glue it down. And I pulled out another stamp set. What did I do with it now? I pulled out, oh, here. This is textured notes because I've got thanks here and I was going to put this "You are seriously the best" on here. I'm hoping it's not too long. Let's have a look at it. Now I think that this stamp set coordinates nicely with this Japanese set. This kind of gives, I don't know, just kind of think with this beautiful leaf here and this little mat basket. I don't know. I think you can use that with the Japanese set as well. So because you could use this plant here to stick out from this short little pot here, or even the tall pot. That would be really cool. And there's another little branch in there too. And these have dies to cut them out. Okay, so I've got thanks and you are seriously the best. Yes, that will fit on there. Okay, so, and I might want, I don't know, I might put this behind it. Just this little bit of a basket thing on the back. So let's put this on a block. And I might do it in the green. Actually, I should use, maybe I should pull out my Pretty Peacock. Might be better. Or Lost Lagoon. Is that Lost Lagoon? Yeah, that's Lost Lagoon. Let me just pull Lost Lagoon out. Oh, it's on my desk. Yeah, here's my Lost Lagoon right here. I just feel like that needs a bit of a background on it. And let me grab a scrap piece of paper because I want to stamp off. So it's a lighter color. Oh yeah, that's nice, really muted. And then we're going to do this. Okay, and hopefully so I'm going to do this in Misty Moonlight. Oh, I don't have Misty Moonlight on my desk. I have every other color on my desk. Misty Moonlight. So let's do this in Misty Moonlight. Let's see, what are you saying, Christine? Still working on feeling better. Last day of antibiotics. Yes, you will feel really much better after you finish your antibiotics. It's really important to take them all, isn't it? I have this set and have yet to do anything with it. No energy. Well, you know, you have to rest up. Just rest up, collect, you know, and just sit and read or you look at some YouTube videos and get some inspiration. All right, you are seriously the best. Let's put that on here. Oh, it's a little bit crooked. Oh, well. Oh, well, oh, well. Okay. Now, there are some other stamps in this set if you wanted to add. I might add, I love this little stamp here. It's some flowers. And it's kind of got a little bit of an arch in it. This one here. Just grab another block. And I'll do this in, I think I'll do this also in the Lost Lagoon. So this is the same floral flowers as in the die cut, the gold die cut pieces. Okay, so that's all I think we need on here. So let's glue this to the back panel and then we'll assemble the card. Okay. All right. Now the, what shall we call it? The put together. All right, let's just set that stuff aside. I'll do up my glue, and then we'll put these 3 panels together. Thank you, Christine. Yes, it's going to be even better when it's put together if I don't make a mistake. All right. So the first thing you want to do is take your center panel and you're going to glue it to the center of this strip of paper. So this was 2 by 11 inches and then it's scored at, what did I say? 2.5 or 3.5. Let me look at my instructions here. 3.5 inches. And it's going to go right along the bottom edge. And if you look carefully, you're positioning it between those 2 score lines. maybe I should move this out of the way. You're positioning between the two score lines, and you've got a tiny little bit of wiggle room between those two score lines, okay? So you're not putting any glue on the cards. You're only putting glue on the strip. So you're going to start with the center strip. So I'm just going to put some glue like here. I'm not going right to the edge where those score lines are. Okay, so we've got a bit of glue there. So you take your center panel and you are going to line it up between the score lines and right to the bottom. Right to the bottom. Okay. Now we're going to do the front of the card. So to line it up, you want to fold it up. Okay. And this is going to go on this front. Now, why you fold it up is because it gives you an opportunity to match up the arch perfectly with the other arch. Okay, that's why you fold it. All right, so you want to make sure you're always testing it out. So it's going to open like this. Okay, so there's the front. It opens to the center. So you're going to close the front, and then you're going to glue this again to this strip. So this strip here. So again, you're going to line it up to the bottom. You're going to center it. But more importantly, I just pick it up and I'm just squeezing those two arches together to make sure that they're nicely lined up. That's the important part. Because you want the card to close, and it's like a surprise, really. You're closing up the card. Okay, so you're opening it. There's your center. Now, same thing for the back. For the back, you want to make sure that you are lining up the arch as well. So I'm going to close the card. And you want this to be here like that. Okay, now I can't close it like this and glue it. So what I want to do is I'm going to flip this to the back this time. Like that. So you're opening it up. So you're gluing it to this. But in order to line up the arches, you're going to flip it to the back. And then you'll be able to line it up. So again, you're going to put glue on here. Oh, that was a lot of glue. Had a little bit of a burp there. Woo, that's a lot of glue. So again, you're going to line it up at the bottom. I forgot to burnish my score lines. That was a mistake, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to line it up at the bottom. And I'm going to pick it up and make sure, oh, my hands have got glue all over them now. I'm a sticky mess. It's like my fingers were in the honey jar. Okay, make sure your arches are done. All right. Oops, that's not glue. There's too much glue on there. Better hold it down a little bit longer. Oh, I see Shy. Hi, sweetie. How are you? Oh my gosh, I have to tell you, Phil and I watched a show that was based in Tasmania. It was a crime show based in Tasmania. I meant to text you and let you know. Oh my God, it was so funny. He said, oh my God, look. How are you? How's living way down under? You're way down under now. Okay, so there's your card. So you open, and open. This would make a gorgeous wedding card, you know, because some people get married under arches. Wouldn't that make a great wedding card? Look at that. Look at that. I'm a little upset that my greeting is crooked, but it is what it is with handcrafts. Okay. So you don't have to, I wouldn't worry about the back. I mean, you can see this strip here, and the strip does not go edge to edge because really, ideally, it would be a 12-inch piece, but our cardstock is mostly 11 inches long. So, but it still works. So I'm not worried about the back at all. But there you go. There is your arch card. So this I can add to my collection of the other 2 cards that I made right here. So here is a set of 3. So this would make a beautiful gift set to make these 3 different arched cards. So this is the simplest one. It's just a simple fold using your arches. And then you've got this little, it's like a little tent fold card. You can stand it up. They all stand up really. And then you've got this one at the end. Oh, you got a beautiful view. Yes, I could not believe the coastline. They were showing lots of coastline, and it was amazing. All right, so let's just pull my face back up so I can say goodbye. Here we go. Let's see if my face has calmed down a little bit more. No, I'm still as red as a tomato. Oh, well, it is what it is. I'm going to go and I haven't had my coffee yet this morning. Maybe that's why I've got a headache. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Christine, get well. And Shy, say hello to your lovely wife and enjoy your gorgeous scenery. And maybe one day we'll get there. I don't know. It's a long ways away, but maybe one day we'll get there. Anyway, thanks you guys. Bye for now.